canvas, mounted on an easel. Smears of what must be red paint are evident on his hands and clothing. He's oblivious, in a daze as he paints.
I didn't just see it, I witnessed it. Now I must preserve it upon canvas for the generations to come.
He nods, a faraway expression on his face.
The great schism of the Divine Order and the ruination of arcs. This will be my masterpiece. I usually only display completed works, but, well, this painting's raw power is already plain to see. Here, feast your eyes.
He gestures to the canvas. It's completely covered in the same shade of red, layer after layer. It's sodden, dripping onto the cobbles. The painter scoffs. He looks quite pale, you notice. Ill, perhaps. A drip of red falls from his sleeve to the cobbles.
You should open your mind. You would see so much more. Red is the only shade that matters. Life and death, true passion from within the artist.
He tugs back the sleeve of his tunic to reveal a blood-soaked cloth bandage around his wrist.
No, I must continue. What would my father say if he was still alive to see me now? He was the finest painter of his generation, and he used his own blood for his masterwork, the final panel of The Sacrifice of Lucian. Self-preservation is a petty concern. I must put the spiritual above the corporeal. I must finish. For the most part, a copy can be seen at the great cathedral here in Arcs. I visit frequently for inspiration. But the original panel, the one that my father used his blood to depict Lucian's final sacrifice, was given to Lord Kem a long time ago. He keeps it locked away somewhere in that mansion of his. A masterpiece like that should be on public display for all to see.
The spirit of an older man observes the nearby painter. He tut-tuts to himself.
That poor boy is wasting his time, walking upon well-trodden paths. I thought I raised him better than that. Did you tell him what you thought of his little picture? Unfortunate, isn't it? He isn't without talent, but he never overcame the fact that he was my son. Of course, my finest work. I drew upon everything I had for that piece, all of my skills, my experience. Why, there's even my own blood and sauce on that canvas. They are part of a private collection now, Lord Kem's. Perhaps he'll grant you a viewing, but I doubt it. There's a reproduction on display at the cathedral. Not the same as viewing the original, of course, but it gives the great unwashed something to pray before. Of course I am. I painted the greatest works of art that Arcs has ever seen. The Sacrifice of Lucian. My opinion is the only one that matters.
You, eyes over here, yeah? I know now that you're all done, why don't you just skedaddle on out of here? If you've got some fight in you, then I've got what you need. If you've got some fight in you, then I've got what you need. to it or get moving. It's the busy... Now that you're all done, why don't you just skedaddle on out of here? If you've got some bite with you, then I've got what you need. Get to it or get moving. It's the busiest... You, eyes over here, yeah? Now that you're all done, why don't you just skedaddle on out of here? Got swords and shield over here. Get to it or get moving. It's the bit. Now that you're all done, why don't you just skedaddle on out of here?
Business must be booming for you, all them broken weapons.
Dead magisters don't tend to buy weapons.
Still, the paladins.
Paladins don't need them either. They took the weapons off the dead magisters. If you've got some bite with you, then I've got what you need.
Look at the size of that thing.
My friend here has taste. Get a trade, friend?
Buying and selling.
The man in front of you is clad in a ragtag assortment of garb from different cultures. He looks up from repairing a battered instrument to smile and nod at you, one traveller to another.
Ho there, fellow traveller. Luronta. Looking for some cheer to lighten the mood of this grim, dark city? Well now, I do love music, it's true. But my instrument has given up the ghost after long days on the road. Rava, believe me, traveling takes its toll. I'm from a place called Aleroth. I'm traveled back in years. When I first left home, I'd an idea travel'd make me more well-rounded and, interesting. But instead, I'm kind of uncomfortable everywhere. So now I'm traveling till I find a place that really feels like a true home. Because when nowhere feels like home, you start to forget who you are a little. At least, I do.
Buying and selling.
Good question, Callisti. I think it must be Sicil. The sea air, the fish pies, and the delicious air of desperation as hovers over all port towns.
Who cares to trade?
God's love an optimist, that's for sure.
The lizard hums a lizard melody. You do not find it unpleasant, but you do not recognize its air. The kin hums a melody, one you recognize from long ago and far away. It reminds you very much of home.
I've spotted something.
An inscription at the terrarium's base identifies its contents as a wailing mandrake, a species you've not heard of before now. Not every detail is visible through the terrarium's hazed glass, but there is no missing the plant's trumpet-like blooms, perfect for catching raindrops, or insects, perhaps. An inscription at the terrarium's base identifies its contents as a Not every detail is visible through the terrarium's hazed glass, but there is no missing the plant's trumpet-like blooms, perfect for catching raindrops. The spirit of the owl hops heavily from claw to claw, squinting up at you over his bulging, fluffy cheeks.
I don't know what just happened, but I do know that I can't taste anything. And that is the worst feeling in the whole world.
The owl's eyes go wide and round as his roly-poly body.
What? What? No more treats from Kem? No more tasty treats? Oh, you know, this and that. Little tidbits, hands, feet, an eyeball now and then. Kem always liked me the best. He gave me lots of treats like that. Those others with their fancy names, he never gave them treats like me.
The elegant owl mistress glances up at you from her papers, a harried look on her face. She nods an abrupt greeting.
Yes? Can't you smell the fine aroma of owl shit? This is the Owlry, Lord Kem's communications link with the rest of Rivellon. Right now, I'm sending my fluffy friends to mobilise paladins to readiness. War is imminent. But Lord Kem's a good leader, a good man. He'll protect us. I'm sure of it. I suppose he sent you for the latest news? Rivellon's a big place, darling, and all of it in a shambles. Where exactly do you want to know about? We haven't heard anything from Fort Joy in a good long time, ever since a group of renegade sorcerers escaped, killing Bishop Alexander in the process. I'm no fan of Magisters, not anymore, but I can't help but think that Alexander's death was unfortunate. Dallas is only making everything worse. I intercepted some Magister communications from there a while ago. Seems like their void-woken problems have decreased lately, but they're not quite sure why. They're preparing for war with the Divine Order, with all three houses riled up in a frenzy. The House of Dreams are communing with dead warriors. The House of Lore are drawing up new maps for after the war. And the House of War? Well, the House of War are in their element. Same old story. The Queen is trying to quench the rebellion, but the rebels are too quick for her. And in all that, the traders are getting more powerful while the nobility weakens. What part they'll play in the upcoming war remains to be seen. Good luck out there. You'll need it. We all will.
friends of the ring are destroyed.
The flower is withered. You bend to smell the bloom, but it has no discernible scent. The moment you finger the silky flower, icy darkness pierces your heart. The chill freezes your bones, then rushes free, leaving a single word etched within you: God-woken.
The doctor sees no one. The doctor sees no one. Keep his name safe. It must not be spoken.
I've spotted something.